Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Pawan Rajpal. I am a consultant psychiatrist who practices out of Harley Street in London. Today, I am hoping to talk about stress and what, where it can come from, and what can you do to reduce its impact on your day-to-day living. We're going to wait for a few more minutes because though we have changed time to engage with people who live in the continent of USA, the country of USA, or the American continent, as 11 a.m. UK time was a little early for them. And we are hoping that they will join us. I've had a few questions asked about this topic as to why I am doing this. In my day to day practice, I see a lot of customers who are struggling with the effects of trauma and stress, and in majority of cases that stress is coming from work. It impacts in such a big way in our life that our lives can be so disrupted for something that causes a challenge that it's important to know a little bit about it. And also, I hope to talk about what you can do while sitting at home to manage the stress that might be coming from work. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Uh, I'm a consultant psychiatrist. I came to UK about 20 years ago, and I've been working in Harley Street, helping people in the business district of our country. And I've had a lot of experience in helping people first identify stress and mostly then work through how they can not be overwhelmed by it. My own personal way of practice is not to go down the medication route first, but to think in terms of what can be done without medication. And today, I hope that once I'm able to help you identify what stress is, why it happens, and what you can do about it without going down taking the medication route. Stress is something that impacts us all the time in every avenue of our life. It is there day and night. The exact definition is that it is the adverse reaction that people have to the excessive demands placed on them. We can be stressed when we have too much responsibilities placed upon us, and more importantly, when we feel we have no control over it. Let me be very clear. Stress, a little in quantity and occasional, is a good thing. It helps us to enhance our quality of outcome. However, too long, too much can impact our physical and mental health. It can almost make us debilitated. And of course, you can end up seeing a psychiatrist like me taking medication. At work, the most important cause of stress is too much work, unregulated work under pressure, poor organization, lack of support, but more importantly, feeling not being in control so that you can make any change to it. The multiple steps that we can go through trying to manage that, and first of that is to recognize that you are under stress and that it is coming from your workplace. We will then talk about what you can do about it. And today's talk is mostly about managing the stress without medication. In our lives nowadays, we are running either to work, from work, during a presentation, catching up on emails, and in more recent months, of course, the COVID and us not knowing where the economy is going and what will happen, whether we will have our jobs or not, And of course, our jobs are dependent on our place of work being able to employ us, financial issues, and that leads to stress that has an impact on our being able to be happy at work, and that increases the stress that we are feeling. The fear of cutbacks, pressure, and at a different level, the pressure to always deliver to the best of your abilities. And now each of us can do that, but being able to do that all the time can put us under pressure. In my practice, I've seen a lot of work related stress coming out from organizational issues, poor management practices, uh, traveling as a part of your job, relationships at the job, bosses changing, economy changing, the safety of our job being put at risk. All this can almost act like aspects of chronic short term trauma that can make you feel stressed and bad. The long hours, the frequent management changes, the top down management, lack of autonomy, you having very limited control over what you can and cannot do, and at times people being asked to do stuff that they don't have skills for. There isn't enough social network or support from the management to your jobs. Each of these factors can play a role in making you feeling stressed. Of course, harassment, discrimination, poor relationship with colleagues, with boss, crisis at work, making you feel traumatized, not supported, all these can play a role. So, how do we know that we are under work related stress? You can present as mood swings, no motivation, lethargy, no energy, headaches, physical symptoms of upset stomach, constipation, nausea, diarrhea, rapid heartbeat, panic attacks, frequent colds, decreased libido, decreased sexual drive, loss of interest in work. When you get up in the morning, you don't really want to go to work. You can have attention and concentration problems, muscle aches. We tend to then avoid social contact, so it can lead to social withdrawal. And of course, we can end up using alcohol and other drugs to make ourselves feel calmer. It doesn't really work, it has its own negative effects. In my field, psychologically, it can present as anxiety, panic attacks, depression, uh, lack of motivation, irritability, pessimism, significant negative outlook of life, feeling overwhelmed, attention, concentration difficulties, and so on. So, as I said in the beginning, first we realize that stress happens, and then we learn how it presents itself. The best way to combat this is to realize that you are under stress, that our life is putting us under pressure, which is over and above our own internal mechanisms of coping. After we have taken on this responsibility of being aware that we are under stress, we need to act for our emotional well being. We need to identify the negative behaviors that we are doing to cope with this stress, like, for example, drinking too much. We need to repair and build further bridges within our work environment that might have been affected because of us being under stress. The act of talking to your family members and your colleagues almost makes us feel better. It's extremely important when we're talking to somebody about the way we're feeling to help them understand that it is not being done because you expect them to fix it, but it's more about sharing. If in my practice, I've realized that if we were to be very clear about with people while communicating, that this is the sharing conversation and this is the fixing conversation, a lot of miscommunication goes away. What I also know is regular exercise helps. Now, there are many talks, conversations that you might have heard about exercise. There is a good scientific backing for that. Aerobic exercise that increases your heart rate and makes you sweat. It's hugely effective for lifting your mood, increasing your energy, sharpening your focus. Rhythmic exercise, like for example, walking, running, swimming, it soothes the nervous system. You feel a lot more calmer. Try getting a 30-minute of exercise a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and you'll find a significant reduction in your feelings about stress. Another way to manage stress is to take a break. Surprisingly, our educators know that our concentration can last only about 40 minutes in one go, and it is suggested that a child in school or college take a 5-minute break. Somehow we tend to forget that and continue pushing ourselves. So try taking a 5-minute break after every 40 minutes. Take a stroll at lunchtime outside workplace. Close down your computer. How about this? Just close down your computer, leave your phone, and take a stroll in your office, your workplace, outside if you can, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Break your day into two because that's how it is supposed to be. Physical movement, there's a lot of evidence for the fact that physical movement can help you regain your emotional balance. You'll come back fresher, you'll achieve more. The third, so we talked about stress, we talked about breaking your day into two things. Third important thing is food. Food has a massive impact on your ability to manage stress. Eating frequently but short meals allows your body to maintain a stable sugar level. It maintains your energy, your focus, your ability to overcome challenges. Low blood sugar can make you irritable. Drinking black coffee all day is not helpful for you to be able to get more work done. Small meals every 2 hours keeps your blood sugar level. Hypoglycemia or low blood sugar can make you irritable, lethargic. Avoid eating refined carbs and sugar. Uh, they give you that initial boost and increase in your carb levels, but when you crash, you are less able. It's a good idea to reduce the amount of caffeine that you're drinking, trans fat that you're drinking, uh, foods with high preservatives, chemicals. Try eating more omega-3, like fatty fish, salmons. Avoid nicotine because though smoking may feel you calmer at that time, over a medium term, it's bad for your attention concentration and your stress management abilities. Alcohol in moderation. It definitely makes you feel calmer at that time, but when the alcohol levels drop in your blood, you'll find you are less able, more irritable. As a matter of fact, a lot of fights are usually post having a drink. The next non-drug related stress buster is sleep. Do not skimp on it. A good night, a full night sleep is almost the most essential bit for you to be able to manage your stress. It boosts creativity, it makes you more productive, it enhances your ability to focus, your concentration becomes better. You can change your sleep in case it's a problem by having a rigid routine, going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time. Even on weekends, try not eating a heavy meal a few hours before going to bed. Try not taking excitable chemicals like tea or coffee 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed. closing down blue screens an hour before you're planning to sleep, aiming to get between 6 and 8 hours every night. We now know that the blue light emitted by smartphones and screens interferes with the melatonin production, which interferes with your sleep. There is no reason to check your emails just before you go to sleep. A rigid routine might include your leaving all your electronic equipment once you have agreed that the day has ended. This is a part of a very essential management strategy called time management. Creating a balanced schedule. If you need more time, it's better to get that extra time in the morning before work starts. But always, always, always create boundaries for yourself. Never overcommit. Prioritize what you need to do. Break your job into smaller bits. Delegate, of course, if you can, and be willing to compromise. Which leads to the final bit of this topic as to try not being over perfectionist. This leads to a lot of negative thinking of this is not good enough means I am not good enough. That means I am a bad person. All of us in our lives have things we can't control. It is never helpful if we try to control the uncontrollable. And my final comment is before we finish a project, a meeting, half a day, or the day, try to find humor in that. And in an effort to take my own advice, I do appreciate that a lot of people who are watching this know me professionally or have seen me and perhaps understand that I myself struggle of being able to prioritize and to be able to draw boundaries in my work and to be able to manage my work in a way where I am able to close work down on my laptop or in my head. But like everybody who's listening, what is also true is that this is a journey. And all of us need to go on this so that our work, which takes more than half of our life, does not impact negatively and create psychological distress. I hope this has been helpful. I wish you all the best, and I hope to come back next weekend on Sunday at the same time on a topic that I'll get feedback on. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.